Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. We're doing a fantasy football mock draft for 2020, drafting from the third position, and I'm going to walk you through the first 5 rounds. Now, I'm going to be implementing a strategy that I would use myself. I wouldn't implement a strategy for you guys that I wouldn't actually use, and that strategy for fantasy football 2020 is the robust RB strategy. I implore you guys to use this strategy. Anyone else teaching you otherwise for this year and any other year prior is an idiot, because I'll tell you why. Number one, guys, it's the most scarce position, the running back position. You got to load up on those running backs, okay? If you don't, someone else will. You want those running backs with minimal committees. That's very, very important, okay? Number two, guys, very important. There's a ton of depth and a wide receiver and quarterback this year, okay? You can get wide receiver ones after the 5th round, okay? Ton of volume and load up, okay? Now, I want you guys to get the 16-round draft solution below. I walk through a full mock draft there and give you all the optimal players in each round. This is a first ever and only video training. I assure you guys, this is going to help you guys crush your leagues. Nobody's offering video training. We're in 2020 now. I mean, come on. Draft kits are dead. I assure you guys, I created something that's definitely going to work. 16 rounds is the game changer because I'm extremely passionate about you guys winning. I came up with this idea a couple years ago, and my friend's like, hey, can you walk me through like who to draft in each round? I'm like, well, I can't really be at your draft. He's like, just give me a list or something. Tell me what I got to do. I'm like, okay, what a great idea. And so many people have asked me throughout the years, can you be there for my draft? I'm like, I can't be at everybody's draft. So 16 rounds is the game changer. I'm telling you guys, I assure you, you're going to have a balanced roster with a ton of depth and all the optimal players. I admit all the players. Like last year, you didn't have to worry about guys like Le'Veon Bell first round. You stayed away. Antonio Brown second round. And that's what everybody's telling you is draft based on ADP and lists. That's not how to win, okay? So let's walk through the first 5 rounds, going through the robust RB strategy here. We're drafting third. If you're listening in the car, I'm going to walk through every single draft result as the draft is done. And we're going to walk through every single draft round, okay? So you guys have an idea who goes where and what. All right, so let's get to it. We are starting here, and we've got, this is a good mix because we got some real players here. I think 6 are like real players. We got 6 computer, which is good because I want a little bit of ADP because that's how people typically draft anyway. Now, you know, the first 4 rounds, people kind of know the players, but even you casual or even some of these fans or some of the guys in your league don't even know who to draft after the 7th round, right? So it's kind of a good thing to go on ADP because a lot of people go on ADP, which is the sheep mentality, and you're not a sheep. So you're going to see how I'm going to kind of work in between these first 5 rounds and not draft who you think I'm going to draft, okay? And I don't just do it to be different. I do it because I actually feel that player is the best player at that position. So we're looking at this, guys. I'm going robust RB. Now, I see a bunch of players here, and, you know, Zeke and Kamara seems like the obvious option here, and I think they're going to have great years. I like the ceiling of Henry a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and draft Derrick Henry at 3. A lot of people will not draft Derrick Henry there. But again, I could have easily gone Kamara and Elliott, and I probably would. I'm trying to dance around Zeke a little bit this year. I love him. Problem is his Pollard effect. It's bothering me a little bit. So I'd rather go with Henry where there is no Pollard there, right? So I'm going to go with Henry at 3. I see Michael Thomas coming in at 5. Now, here's the problem with Thomas. Like I said, he had a pinnacle year last year, 185 targets. Huge year. I mean, is he going to continue that? You know, I think he's going to be consistent, but 185 targets, it doesn't seem viable. He's going to decline a little bit, okay? So I'm personally staying away from Michael Thomas in the first round. If I can get him in the 3rd round, maybe I'd consider him, but he's not going to fall there because, again, everybody drafts based on ADP, okay? I see Dalvin Cook coming off the board. You guys know how I feel about Dalvin Cook. I'm not touching him. How would you invest? Why would you and how could you invest in a player that has not finished a season in the 1st round? It doesn't make any sense. And Madison breathing down his neck, and he's just as capable as Dalvin Cook, even better than Dalvin Cook, stronger than Dalvin Cook. I looked at their numbers, guys, and had you given, go look it up, had you given Madison the same amount of volume, so Cook had 250 attempts, okay, and around 1,100, 1,200 yards. Madison had around 500 rushing yards on 100 attempts. So just double that, you've got Dalvin Cook production. Probably even more, actually, if he had the 250 attempts, but only 100 attempts to Madison. Obviously, by default, Cook's the guy. Cook will go down. Get yourself Madison later. There's a fantasy football sleeper for you. All right, then we saw Kamara come off the board, Devontae Adams. I think Adams has a better year this year. I actually like the ceiling there. Then Joe Mixon. Listen, Mixon, it's a tough one. It's a suspect offense, but they've got a new quarterback, new offense, some improvements to the O-line. It seems exciting, right? AJ Green, like there could be a high-octane offense, believe it or not, with the Bengals. I never thought I'd say that. But I just personally don't like Mixon. Maybe it was the old assault thing that he did a couple years ago. I don't know. I just don't like the guy. And again, he's been in the league for a long time. He's been safe and solid, but he just hasn't wowed me with the ceiling. I don't know, man. I just don't like him. Tyreek Hill. I like the All-American athletes, the David Johnsons of the world. You guys know that. So, all right, Tyreek Hill. I would just not go for that guy in the first round. Very volatile. Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt is there. Nick Chubb has no business being in the first round. Anybody, listen to what I'm telling you, okay? Anyone telling you to draft Nick Chubb or has Nick Chubb in the top 10 is mistaken. They're wrong. Now, I could be wrong, right? And I'm take full ownership if I'm wrong. But I'll tell you this right now. I'm staying away from Nick Chubb with Kareem Hunt there. Kareem Hunt outscored Nick Chubb 6 out of the 8 weeks they played together in PPR. Let me repeat that. Kareem Hunt outscored Nick Chubb 6 out of the 8 weeks they played together in PPR. Why would you spend a first-round pick on a guy who's splitting a committee with somebody, a backfield? Get the hell out of here. Hopkins, listen, again, I don't know if there's enough targets for Hopkins to make him viable here, okay? So, recap the first round. McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Zeke Elliott, Michael Thomas, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, and DeAndre Hopkins. Going up to round 2, it starts off with Julio Jones, Aaron Jones, Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, and Austin Eckler. Now, Kenyon Drake has a massive ceiling, but I'm not sold on him being a full workhorse running back, right? They drafted Eno Benjamin out of Arizona State. And they probably love him. He's out of Arizona. He may get the work. It could be another Philip Lindsay situation. Kenyon Drake has not wowed us, right? He had a couple good games in Arizona, and I understand the offense could benefit him, but he's just not that great of a player. And we're going to see that this year. Trust me, the ceiling is high. It's tempting, but I wouldn't invest in a guy that I don't trust. Jacobs here is huge value as the 4th pick in the 2nd round. Love Jacobs. Now, this guy comboed Mixon and Jacobs. I like it. See, a lot of people now this year are going with the robust RB strategy, but you got to go with the right robust RBs. Now, this idiot here with the 11th pick went Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones, which actually ends up being the Kinshipsis. So it's actually my turn to draft. I go to players, and I was not focusing on the draft because I'm talking to you guys, and I'm going to go to running backs here, and there's a ton of good guys here. I'm going to just throw a wild card here. And I'm going to go with the ceiling of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I see Miles Sanders sitting there, but with Miles Sanders, I feel he'll be in a committee. They were entertaining guys like Carlos Hyde, which didn't end up going there. But you know what? I got my solid guy here, Derrick Henry. I'm going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire because, again, that huge ceiling is there, and I'm still going to go robust RB. I'm going 4 running backs in the first 4 rounds. I'm nuts like that. But yeah, I like the ceiling of Helaire, and I just think he's just far superior than Damian Williams. So I'm feeling a little more warm and fuzzy as the season goes on, as the offseason goes on here and we move towards the season with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I was a little skeptical there because, again, I don't trust the Chiefs in that offense in regards to giving a guy a workhorse running back type of load, but it could happen this year with Clyde Edwards. Miles Sanders coming off next, then Kenny Golladay. And I know who I'm targeting this year, and I hope he doesn't go in the next 4 picks because, again, I went 3rd, so there's 4 picks in between me as it comes back to me here. I'll tell you who I'm going to go with. Julio Jones, Aaron Jones. Sorry, I'm going to recap the 2nd round. Julio, Aaron Jones, Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce. Way too early for a tight end. Lamar Jackson, Chris Godwin, George Kittle, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Miles Sanders, Kenny Golladay to round out round 2. Moving on to round 3, Allen Robinson, Mike Evans come off the board. And I'm all over this pick. I can't believe he's here. I'd either go Taylor or Gurley, but I'm going to go with the consistent production of Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's going to be the workhorse running back there. This is a steal in the 3rd round. My goodness, I love my workhorse running backs. And this is the thing, guys. Once you got these workhorse running backs, you don't really have to worry. You get a sleeper like a Joshua Kelly, Zach Moss, A.J. Dillon later on, right? Or an Alexander Madison as like a sleeper near the end of the draft. But now you've got a foundation to build on, and wait till you see what happens after I get my 4th running back. You're going to see the wide receivers available. You're like, holy crap, Joe, there's a ton of receivers. And for most leagues, including my dynasty league with my friends, it's like we have 2 wide receiver spots. So I can fill those just super easy, right? What you can't fill is those running back positions sometimes because you're not going to get those workhorse running backs, the volume, right? You want to make sure you plug in those running back position, so you're always locked and loaded at the running back position and maybe even cover your flex spot, okay? So I absolutely love these three running backs. And you could make a combination here. You can go Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Todd Gurley. You can go Derrick Henry, Todd Gurley, Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right? You got to basically load up. And I see Taylor coming off here near the end of the third round. And I'm just going to recap the third round here with you. Like Evans, listen, here's the deal with Evans, okay? It's either going to be him or Godwin. Okay, not both of those guys aren't going to thrive. So if you're drafting these guys, nobody's talking about it. They're just saying these guys are both top 10. They're not both top 10. They're not both top 10. Either it's going to be Godwin or it's going to be Evans, okay? So pick one, roll the dice. I don't want to roll the dice with the second draft pick, okay? Second round pick. All right, let's recap round 3. Allen Robinson, Mike Evans, which I wouldn't touch. Evans. Again, the ceiling's high, but it's a coin toss. Todd Gurley for me, Pat Mahomes. There's a ton of quarterback depth. Adam Thielen, DJ Shark. I like Shark. Trust me, I love Shark this year, but not in the third round, you know? Odell Beckham could have a bounce back season. I'm not going to deny that. I still don't like him. Juju, listen, I did a bold prediction video here. I think Deontay Johnson finishes ahead of Juju. Very, very possible. And I wouldn't invest a third round pick. Again, the ceiling's high with Big Ben coming back, but hard to trust. Jonathan Taylor here, good pick. I like this pick. This guy going robust RB, as you can see. There's only 2 teams that went robust, and me and another person here. And he's a real person. It's not a computer. So as you can see, some people are implementing this robust RB. Maybe this guy got 16 rounds. Well, maybe not, because I'm not really crazy on Mixon. But anyway, besides the fact, DJ Moore, A.J. Brown, and Melvin Gordon. I love A.J. Brown, third round. Not bad. But, I'm going to probably miss out on A.J. Brown this year as much as I love him. Amari Cooper, Chris Carson coming up in the 4th round, moving on to the 4th round. We got then Cooper Kupp, Devontae Parker. Again, I like the ceiling of Parker this year. I think Tua, from what I'm hearing, may get the start earlier than people think. And trust me, I love Devontae Parker's ceiling, but last year I was getting this guy in the 10th round, right? I just don't feel like a 4th round, man, oh man, it's just, I don't want to get on the train when everybody's not on it and when, they boom. That's what the advantage of 16-round draft solution, guys. Get it below or thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. I pinned the link here, guys, on YouTube. Make sure you guys get it, and I price it so everybody can get it. Raheem Mostert, Marquise Brown, Leonard Fournette, Le'Veon Bell. And this is what I love here. This is just so great. David, I'm not even going to hesitate here. David Johnson in the 4th round is an absolute steal. Okay. I love this pick. This guy he's going to get a floor of 250 attempts. A floor of 1,000 yards and a floor of 10 rushing touchdowns and a couple receiving. This guy's first round talent. You guys heard it here first. I'm sticking with this, and I'm telling you, that's how it's going to be. So Cooper, Carson, Kupp, Parker, Mark Ingram, which I don't like. You got Dobbins there, and that Lamar Jackson runs the ball. Look, I would hate to have Eckler and Ingram as my running backs. It would be terrible. Raheem Mostert, Marquise Brown, Leonard Fournette, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, James Conner, Courtland Sutton. I actually like Le'Veon Bell value in the 4th round. That makes more sense. And again, Courtland Sutton rounds out that round. Now, I want to show you guys something. I'm running out of time here for my pick. But I'm going to look at wide receivers. Look at the value here. Guys, I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley. I think he has a booming year here. But I'm going to show you guys something here. Tyler Lockett could be a wide receiver 1, but him and Metcalf, it's a coin toss. I think Metcalf's going to take over there. Hilton's a wide receiver 1. Metcalf's potentially a wide receiver 1. AJ Green's a potential wide receiver 1. I know he's not trustworthy, but it is what it is. Terry McLaurin is a wide receiver 1. Deebo Samuel's a wide receiver 1. Stephon Diggs is a wide receiver 1. Jarvis Landry, wide receiver 1. Will Fuller, you know what? Cooks. I like Cooks. Cooks is a wide receiver 1. Edelman's a wide receiver 1. Darius Slayton could be a wide receiver 1. Guys, Deontay Johnson could potentially be the wide receiver 1. Jerry Jeudy could take a lot of volume. Robbie Anderson, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 2. Mecole Hardman, a wide receiver 2. Michael Pittman, a potential wide receiver 2. Denzel Mims could be a wide receiver 1. Guys, take a look at these wide receivers. There is a ton, and you literally need to fill, like 2 slots, maybe 3 if it's a 3 wide receiver league? Dude, just draft like 7 or 8 of them. Load up a couple on the bench. You're locked and loaded at the running back position. Guys, fantasy football doesn't have to be that hard. The secret is to load up on running backs early and always aim high on the depth chart. Get the guys that are volume getters that fit the Cuddy system: consistency, upside, durability, depth, and youth. Well, Joe, you've got 2 injury-prone guys. You've got Todd Gurley and David Johnson. Listen, Todd Gurley's the full workhorse on his team. He looked great at the end of the season last year. He's going to be fine. And David Johnson had a fluke wrist injury a couple years ago, and he was screwed by Kingsbury. So that's not his fault, okay? So I'm locked in. And if they've fall apart, I got Henry and Clyde Edwards. I don't care. So listen, there's a ton of depth, guys. Believe me, guys, implement the strategy. Round 5, Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, who I went with, T.Y. Hilton, which I also like, David Montgomery. I was almost tempted to take David Montgomery and go 5 running backs and call it a day. I love David Montgomery in the 5th round. Are you kidding me? A full workhorse running back with a ton of volume with no committee. Let's go, guys. Robert Woods here, Tyler Lockett, Zach Ertz, DK Metcalf, Devin Singletary, which I don't like, with Zach Moss there because he's a beast, Dak Prescott, and DeAndre Swift. I'm going to give you guys another pick here. I said 5 rounds. Let's do 6 rounds here. And I talk about the sneaky 7 strategy. You're kind of getting a feel for my sneaky 7. I talk about that also in the 16-round draft solution. But you're kind of seeing me build up my sneaky 7, which I won't reveal the whole secret here. It's kind of exclusive to my 16-round course. But yeah, this is going to be really exciting season this year. I'm telling you, with the running backs. Now, I want to say one more thing, guys. Take a look at the running backs here, guys, in the 6th round. Check this out. There's nobody left. I'm not joking. Some of these guys could break out. Kareem Hunt could have a big year. Cam Akers, I absolutely love here. J.K. Dobbins, I doubt it. Ronald Jones, they're going to be in a committee. Madison's going to take the job eventually. Zach Moss could be a beast. There's a couple guys, but they're really, really big question marks. Joshua Kelly, A.J. Dillon. We got McFarland from the Steelers that could take the job there if Connor goes down. But look, guys, look. Do you want a Jordan Howard? Do you want to wait and get a Jordan Howard? The hell with that. Sony Michel is in the committee. Damian Williams, who sucks. Matt Breida on Miami. Are you kidding me? Like, you don't want this, guys. But the guys that did not acquire running backs early are going to end up with that. Like, this guy, this guy ends up with Darius Geis here. I wouldn't want him. Would you guys want Darius Geis in a committee of 500 people who's been injured, hasn't finished the season? But guys, check this out. Wide receivers. I got Diggs here. I'm going to go with Diggs. He's the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo. Diggs and Ridley. I'd come back and get more wide receivers. I can get Cooks later. Are you kidding me? Edelman. We don't even know how good Stidham could be, man. Jarrett Stidham in New England could be special. We don't know. Guys, look. Oh my goodness. A ton of wide receivers. It's great. And quarterback, just forget about quarterback. I mean, look at this. I get Allen, I could get Ryan, I get Stafford, I get Brady, I get Rodgers, I get Tannehill. Tannehill, had he started the first 6 games last year, was on pace to be a top 3 quarterback in fantasy. Nobody's talking about this. So anyway, guys, that's it. So there's your teaser, guys. You can kind of see that, Joe, you know what? You're a little crazy sometimes. Maybe it's the passion, but you're making sense. It makes sense, okay? So I'm not going to pick here. I'm going to let the computer run its thing. But guys, this is it. This is the mock draft I gave you 6 rounds here. Go robust RB strategy. This is something I was preaching years ago that people condemned me for. Like, oh, that guy's an idiot. Joe, you should go wide receiver. No, you don't go wide receiver. You load up on running backs, okay? So that wraps it up here, guys. That is the mock draft fantasy football 2020. Make sure you guys subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and I will see you guys once this thing ends. I will see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you guys being here. And I would not draft the computer pick Jared Cook for me. Don't listen to that, okay? I did not pick him. All right, guys, I am out. I appreciate you guys being here. We will talk soon. Thank you, and get the 16-round draft solution. I hope you guys enjoyed the mock draft. We're going to crush fantasy football together. Smash a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts. Appreciate you guys. It means a lot. I'm Eflin.